Waiting.
All right, we're going to get going. Good morning. Welcome to Claire Rose. We're here to talk about solar and how solar should be designed, particularly large-scale solar, for the future, particularly in Brookhaven Town. And sometimes they say a picture says 1,000 words. I'm going to ask everyone to part here to look at this picture. This is the building we're standing at. There is a roof that there isn't too much space left on that roof that is not covered by solar. And I will let our host, Sean Rose, come up and say a few words. But we're here to talk about, we are changing our solar code in Brookhaven Town for large solar arrays. The County Planning Commission had helped design a solar code. And as we saw that and some of the issues with that, we realized that was not the way to go. So we've amended our solar code. There will be a public hearing at our next town board meeting on the 29th of September at 6 o'clock. We will listen, and afterwards the town board will vote, and I fully expect that we will amend our solar code. And what will our new solar code say? Our new solar code will say, no taking down trees. No taking down trees. We are not trading one green for another. Where will solar go? Well, they can go on lands that have been previously cleared that are commercial or industrial or brownfields that were that way before January of this year. Where else can they go? Well, they can go, as Claire Rose has done, on the rooftops. And we are going to be looking for that. We've reduced the minimum lot acreage, is now reduced to 5 acres. It used to be 10. It can go in commercial zoning, all of our J2, J4, J5, J6, L1, and L2. And where should it go if not on lands that are already cleared? On rooftops. And why would people put them on rooftops? Because we are prepared to allow an increase of up to 20% for the floor area ratio of any building that is permitted above and beyond the current code in each zoning district for rooftop solar. So you will be allowed to build a larger building if you put solar on your rooftop. Also, the planning board is authorized to reduce, under this code, allow a reduction in the number of required parking stalls if you're going to put installation on your parking lots. So we are changing how we do solar. It's going to be in our commercial and industrial areas. It's going to be on lands that are previously cleared. We are not taking down any more trees. And by the way, just that everyone should know, no large solar has taken down a tree in Brookhaven yet. We have 2 solar projects in Brookhaven and Shoreham. They are not taking down trees. We have solar projects, 5 solar projects on town properties. None of those projects, when built, will take down any trees. And now with the new code, we will not take down trees. They will be either in cleared lots that are previously been cleared or on rooftops. And this is a good way to introduce our next speaker, Mr. Rose, who is our host today. We're very appreciative of this, and I'm going to turn it over to him, and he can tell you his experience. He is a pioneer. Claire Rose is a leader, someone that we look to, someone that has actually set the path. And I was at this building for another press conference on another subject a while back, and I was so impressed. I said, we've got to change our code and follow the example of this company, which is doing great by the environment. Mr. Rose.
Thank you, Ed. Appreciate it. Well, thank you, and thank you for looking to change the code. You know, as a resident of Brookhaven with young children, you know, the last thing we need to do is take down more green space. This project has been great for us. It is roughly about 5,000 panels on our roof, produces about 90% of our electricity needs. And I would implore any business to look at solar again. The math works today, and energy costs are not going down. So on the business side, it really is a no-brainer. On the environmental side, you know, I think with the change of code and anybody who has a sizable roof, you know, I implore you to look at the projects, and I think you'll be amazed how they will help your business. So I'm glad that we started it, and hopefully by today with this press conference, it'll have some other businesses on Long Island will take another look at it. And the sun is free, you know, so let's use it properly.
Best things in life are free.
Yes, yes. So thank you.
Thank you
very much.
At this point, I'm going to ask Mr. Amp of the Pine Barren Society to come up and say a few words.
Well, this is terrific. You know, we're on the backs of government 9 out of 10 times, and when we went out and said this is a really stupid idea to cut down trees, people arguing that you have to destroy the environment to save it, clearly that's not right. And we did it in a very positive way. Instead of saying no more solar, we've said solar in the right place. And I think that's the key. It belongs on rooftops and parking lots and land that's already been cleared. We don't want to give up our limited forest. And you know, our goals for real clean, workable energy are being advanced by this. We don't have enough open space left to meet the governor's requirement of 50 by 30. That is 50% of all our energy will be from renewable sources by the year 2030. There's just not enough land left on Long Island to do that. So it's a failed strategy to do that. But if we go back and we put it in areas that have been previously developed, it makes more sense for solar. In addition, for those people like me who are very, very committed to solar, I worry that if we put this in residential communities and we cut down forests, that people will begin to push back against, to reject solar when we very badly need that, and wind. So this is a very, very positive thing. We're simply moving solar where it belongs, where it makes the most sense economically and environmentally, and we're preserving the woodlands that the people of Long Island have spent up to $2 billion to protect. We don't want to give up one for the other. It's a false choice. So more than anything else, I want to commend the supervisor and the members of the town board in Brookhaven, because this was not something we had to go fight for. You go in and you sit down and say, this doesn't make any sense. Can we do it better? And in the very rare case, and in this particular case, you have a supervisor that says, okay, makes a lot of sense, we're going to do it. So I think this is also as a result of your success. People in the profit-making business will see that this makes sense both economically and environmentally. This is just plain, reasonable, understandable, comprehensive. It is just the kind of thing that you find every once in a while where everybody says, it's the right thing, let's do it, and then they actually do. So thank you very, very much, and thank you for your understanding of this, and the community as a whole will benefit.
Thank you very much. I also would indicate, and I would be remiss if I did not, at this point in the back of the room, introduce our planning commissioner, who had a great deal to do with drafting this code, Tullio Bertoli. Thank you.
Tullio, you were
Yes,
correct.
right.
Terrific. You got it right away, and you put it in place.
Did a great job. I'm going to ask our deputy supervisor to come on up.
Sure. Thank you, Ed. Well, it really is about prioritizing solar and putting it where it should go first. Should go on top of rooftops, should go on top of buildings, should go on already cleared land, brownfields. We don't need to take down trees to put up solar. And I think this code amendment is a step in the right direction. I thank our planning commissioner, Tullio Bertoli. He really is a visionary for Brookhaven, and we are lucky to have him. Thank you.
Thank you. I would ask Jane to come up, and then if she could introduce the other two speakers.
Absolutely not a problem, Supervisor. Well, it's already all been said. We knew as a town board, and the supervisor and the planning commissioner knew that we had a problem when the prospect of trading green for green, we knew that that was a problem, and the public wouldn't support it, and we didn't support it. So Tullio is a visionary. The supervisor and Dick Amper and all of my colleagues on the town board supported this amendment tremendously. Those of us that grew up on Long Island know what's been lost and know how much that's been preserved. And the last thing we need to do is cut down trees to create a solar farm. Previously cleared land brownfields. There are a whole host of other places that solar can go, and this is a step in the right direction. It doesn't pit environmentalists against communities. It doesn't pit environmentalists against other environmentalists. What was happening was not good for the environment, no matter how you looked at it. And with this code amendment, with the support of the town board, Brookhaven will be a town that saw a problem, saw a need, and addressed it right away, and didn't wait for bad things to happen and have to play catch up. And for that, I thank my colleagues and the supervisor and the planning commissioner and Dick Amper, president of the Pine Barrens Society, because so many times in government, people put their head in the sand and refuse to address an issue and think that the public's just going to have to get used to it. This was not one of those instances, and I'm proud to support this. And without further ado, the man, the visionary, Tullio Bertoli.
Thank you for your kind words. I never imagined I was a visionary. Over the last 7 years, we've enacted a number of environmental pieces of legislation. And recently with Supervisor Romaine, we've done a number of components dealing with the Carmen's River Plan. This is another environmental component, and we always try to balance where we manage our growth and where we preserve our land. This is just another step forward in that component. It really did arise out of this whole notion of green for green. And I think that it's an acceptable form both for the business community and the environmentalists. And in the context, we hope that this code can be utilized by other municipalities as a form of a model code, that they can create a hybrid version, for example, of that. So again, I want to thank everyone for their kind words. Thank you.
Sid?
Sid Bale, Wading River Civic Association. People tend to be cynical about a lot of issues and events, and suspicious. I've heard of the way government operates, but I'll tell you, I'm a believer now. The way the town addressed this issue in an intelligent fashion, and we're going to have more solar on Long Island, but we've come up with a more balanced perspective on how and the whys and where it should go. So I'd like to thank the town, everyone who's spoken before, Dick and Tullio and the supervisor and Jane. It's been an amazing, a delightful turn of events. Thank you very much.
Hello, Jane Fasulo with the Sierra Club. I'm very proud to see this code has been changed. We saw the original solar code. We spoke to our people about it. Our purpose is basically an educational one. We had kickback from our members. We had many calls saying the solar code isn't going to work, and this is the reason. It's taking out our habitats, which we're losing rapidly enough already. Something has to change. It didn't take me more than one quick announcement out to my membership to have 14 people respond back and say, can we do a trees versus solar committee? Yeah, those people are very upset about what existed before. The challenge is going to be, however, how we can spread this to other areas, such as Nassau County. However, within that regard, there is an organization through New York City University that is doing mapping. The project is underway now to find and overlay data on an existing program to find places where solar can best be located. It will work for Nassau County and Suffolk County. It will work for anybody. Even your own personal self can go to a website and find out if solar is available in your area, such as things for community solar. We're happy to see that the code was changed, happy to see that it's now available on smaller parking lot areas, because it was a study that we funded earlier saying there was not enough rooftop space. It alone will not cover what we need. But when we allow it to go on smaller parking areas, it picks up a lot of that gap. So thank you very much. You've put a challenge before us. Now we've got to go out and tell the public.
Thank you.
I want to thank the Sierra Club. They do great work. I'm a big fan of their work and what they do. I just would sum up by saying that we hope that this code will serve as a model for other towns. We hope that this code will help preserve our open spaces. We hope it will promote solar on rooftops, on cleared property, in parking lots. There's plenty of parking lots on Long Island. There's plenty of rooftops. And I would be remiss if I did not end with a huge thanks to a corporate citizen, Claire Rose and Sean, who have done so much to lead the way, to show us what can be done. And I'm going to ask if, Dick, if you just take that photo there, and this is what can be done. This is what should be done. This is what our code speaks to. And this is the gentleman whose family have led the way. We are very proud to have them as a business in Brookhaven. And we are going to now, no more trees will come down in this town. No trees have come down so far for large solar. All future solar projects will be rooftops, parking lots, or cleared property, as it should be. And we will preserve our natural habitat to the most that we possibly can. I want to thank you for attending. If there's any specific questions, we'd be happy to entertain anyone here those questions at this time.
So obviously it does two things. It stops projects like the tree clearing at Shorn, and then the other side tries to boost other solar. I don't know if you can answer this, but how significant a bump up on this side do you expect, the things that you're putting in place now to encourage more solar?
Well, the fact that we're offering up to almost 20% more floor area ratio to builders. So if you're going to build a building, you build it a little larger, but you have to put solar on your rooftop. That's a huge economic incentive that we believe will encourage the growth of solar on rooftops. And the fact that the parking can be dealt with through our planning board, that's a huge incentive to put that in parking lots, put solar panels in parking lots. And the fact that, you can use clear spaces, it also guides and directs where solar arrays, large solar projects should go. And the fact that we've reduced the minimum size to 5 acres from the original 10 also directs it to even smaller parcels. There's more than enough rooftops. There's more than enough parking lots. There's some cleared space altogether to meet the governor's goal to really go with renewable energy and move forward. And we try to incentivize, particularly rooftops and parking lots, to encourage developers to go that way. And again, I cannot say enough about visionaries such as Claire Rose, who has done a tremendous job here.
Good over.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Excuse me, I'd like to give the